You've probably all seen a haul where there's absolutely no budget, but when I've only got £300 to spend, how many comics did I manage to buy? Woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Maddogg, and we're back with another video. February was an interesting month for me, and it started off with the Captain America by Ed Brubaker Omnibus. Now obviously, as you can see, this is a direct market variant. I did actually have the original printing of this, but this is a very well loved copy, so obviously the binding's going a bit on it. I brought it used as well, and I'm not sure if he glued it to the spine or what. I pre-ordered this as soon as it came up on Forbidden Planet. There was no way that I was missing this. There's just so much nostalgia for this run. I love everything that Ed Brubaker did for the character, and this is pretty much the high point of the series, and that's not me saying that the rest of it's bad. I just feel like this really starts out with a great bang. The Steve Epting art's beautiful, so if you haven't already got your hands on this one, I definitely recommend picking it up. But as soon as I got this delivered, I realised something. I don't have that much money to spend on comics this month. Now don't switch off the video just yet, there is still a haul that's waiting throughout the rest of this video, but for me I realised that this was a month where I did need to tighten my belt. I've got a lot of bills that are coming out soon, and as you've seen over the last couple of months, I can spend a stupid amount on books if I'm not being smart about it. So I sat down, I looked at my budget, I looked at my bills that were coming out, and I realised that I probably only had about £300 that I could spend this month. And I'm not saying that that's small change or anything like that. Any money that you can spend on comics is great, because there's been months in the past where I've had absolutely nothing that I could spend on this hobby. But for me, that did mean a drastic reduction of the books that I was going to buy over previous months. And then I realised something. Instead of looking at this as a negative, why don't I turn it into a challenge? So I decided to myself that instead of just buying omnibuses as soon as I see them, I have to be pragmatic about my choices. I have to look at the market in the same way that I do for Whale Watch. I have to look at my collection and see what the gaps in it are and see if I can complete any of those, and still try and buy as much of a variety of books as I can. So with that mindset established that I'm not just going to try and pick up every omnibus that I can, the first book that I properly picked up in February was the Savage Sword of Conan Volume 4. Yeah, this is an omnibus and it set me back about £55, so that's already 1/6 of my total budget for this month. But it's Conan, I knew I needed to pick this up, and I'm much preferring Savage Sword over the original Marvel years, even though I do feel like they both offer something different. But I've been loving this series so much, and I saw that the original Marvel years ended up going out of print quite quickly for a lot of people, and I would be gutted with myself if there's a gap in my Conan collection because of this volume. So even though yes, I knew I said I wasn't going to buy every omnibus that I saw, this is the exception to that rule. So yeah, that was already £55 out of my budget, and then I decided that I'm going to narrow in my focus. So I looked at oversized hardcovers, and one that I needed to pick up was the Darth Vader Dark Lord of the Sith Volume 2. I believe Volume 1 of this has gone out of print now, and I didn't want it to be the case that I missed out on this, and I think this completes this run, and I've been passing up on this for quite a few months now, and because of the fact that it's smaller and because it's cheaper, you do often get into that mindset that, oh, you can just pick it up at another time, oh, it'll be okay, you'll be able to get it next month, oh, it's only a couple of quid, so don't worry about it, you're going to pick it up, and then all of a sudden, bam, out of print. I'm not going to let this happen because of the fact that I love the Kieran Gillen run, and I'm really excited to read the rest of this series. Of course I was going to pick it up, and I'm really happy that I managed to get this. Like I said though, I got this for about £17, so already we're racking up that total quite quickly. Then the next book that I picked up was Booster Gold The Big Fall by Dan Jurgens. As you know, last month I picked up Future Lost in a great sale from Forbidden Planet, and I knew that this was the only other one that I really needed. I did as well manage to find this for about £18, and I'm not really sure how much of a shelf life these books have, whether they stay in print for quite a while. Admittedly, I feel like that's something I should know. But still, Booster Gold's a great character, I love what I saw from him in 52, and I'm looking forward to this series and seeing how much has changed since that time. Yes, I knew that this came out before, save yourself the time correcting me in the comments. With that book costing me £80, I was already £90 into my budget, and I was only about a third of the way through the month. And then I decided to do something stupid, and I picked up a 27 quid book with Criminal Deluxe Edition Volume 3. So now I'm already 117 quid into my budget, and you might be thinking that this is a great title, why am I feeling any kind of regret for buying it this month? The reason why is because of the fact that I get the feeling that this is going to be in print for at least a couple of months, especially with the reprints of Volume 1 and Volume 2 coming out later on in the year. I didn't really need to pick this up this month, but I just really wanted it. And I'm not gonna lie, as fun as it is doing these challenges, I still have to buy books that I actually want. And because I've got Cruel Summer, I am pretty much caught up now. If you're wondering how exactly you can collect Criminal, I've got a video up here that a lot of people find quite helpful, and I'm just looking forward to reading this so much. If it's half as good as those other two volumes, then I'm definitely in for a good time. But the next book that I picked up was also one that maybe I could have held off on for a few months, but I did want it just to complete the set, and like I said, that was one of my main goals this month because it's Paper Girls Book 3. I am really looking forward to this. I'm planning on doing a full read through in May. I'm doing a month that's just going to be called Mage, so if there's any other titles that you want to see in that month, leave it in the comments section below. But I've been holding off reading any of this until it's finished, and now it is. I'm so so happy that this is in my collection, and I wasn't really going to wait around much longer in case it is that I can't wait till May and I just want to rip it open and read it right now. Honestly, I know nothing about this book, but that's deliberate. I didn't know anything before I walked into Y the Last Man except for the base concept, and I wanted it to be the same with Paper Girls. So as soon as I read it, as long as no dickhead tries to spoil it for me before that, I am going to be in for just a really surprising read, whatever is waiting for me behind these covers. And as well, just the production value on these books are amazing. Like, I love these sort of metallic foil bits. It's just a really nicely designed book, so I'm glad that I got this. Like I said, I got it for about £22, I believe. So at this point, we were already halfway through my budget, but we weren't even halfway through the month. Yeah, I was starting to panic a bit. After that, I picked up the oversized hardcover of Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. This set me back about £26, and if you're somebody who watches Whale Watch, admittedly you're going to see this book on there. I've wanted this for a while, and I know that Marvels itself is going to be one of those titles that's always going to be available in some format or another. But I like this version of it. It seems like it's got a decent wealth of extras in it as well. It's a title as well that I've been meaning to give a chance to. I also put this up on a recent poll on the channel where you guys could have voted for the next book that I read. But yeah, for such an iconic Marvel title, I feel a bit embarrassed to admit that I haven't read this before. I'm really looking forward to whenever it is that I get a chance, but to do that I needed to make sure they entered the dog pound, and that's what I did this month. So yeah, as you can already tell, Control, not my strong suit. We're not even halfway through the month, but the next book that I picked up was the Batman Gotham by Gaslight Deluxe Edition. I picked this up as well for £16. I also had to get this from Amazon Spain because that was the only place that had it below cover price. But I love my Elseworlds tale. I love Superman Red Son, JLA The Nail, and this is one that I read years and years ago. I think I picked this up at like my school library and gave it a try at one point, but it has been a while, and at some point I do want to go back and do like an Elseworlds read through and just read as many of those titles as I can. But this book hasn't really stayed in stock or been at a healthy price since it was released. I thought better late than never. £16 was a price that I was happy to buy it for, and I thought to myself that if it did go out of print, I probably would be disappointed with myself. But I kind of want to know what other Elseworlds titles I should pick up, so if there's any that you can suggest, leave them in the comments below. But there's one thing that we know that February is famous for, it's being the month of love. Yeah, I fucking hate myself as well. But regardless of my personal budget for the books that I'm buying for myself, I knew that I needed to treat Shadowcat. So the first book that I got her was a £4 edition of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Volume 1. I'm not really sure what this is because of the fact that, as you know by now, not a manga guy, and I didn't realise just how many volumes of this there was before I brought this one for it. Someone was selling it on an Amazon market page, and I was like, £4, I really can't complain at that price. Admittedly, this looks pretty cool though, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. Even though you guys still don't believe that she's real, I don't know how invested she's going to get in this, and I don't really know where all of those volumes could actually go. I'm already looking at the manga shelf now, but it's a little too crowded for my liking. But still, for £4 I had to show just how much of a romantic I am, and I couldn't really turn it down for that price. But don't worry, I did buy some decent stuff. I got all the usual stuff: alcohol, flowers, rehypnol, and I also got her Chobits Volume 1. Now these are really nice editions. I think they're celebrating, yeah, the 20th anniversary. I heard her mention this, but I think at the time I wasn't really fully listening. Maybe I was crying myself to sleep or something like that. But when I gave her this, she was like, yeah, that's pretty much the porn comic. So maybe I will read this one for myself. All joking aside though, this is an art style that she really likes. Every book that's come out from this Clamp collaboration, the team, I don't really know what they are. Every time I brought her one of those, she has seemed to enjoy it. Hopefully this is going to be no different, and it just seems like she likes this being in the collection. But for books that are gifts, I don't really count it towards my personal budget. If I want to spoil someone, I'm just going to do it. And the last book that I picked up for Valentine's Day was The Art of Ghost of Tsushima. But honestly, this book's been so difficult to get. Like, it came out last September, and I still had to import it from America. But everything about this is just beautiful. Like, it's designed as if it's written on bamboo. The sheets are just beautiful, and it's just got such great production value. Like, this has made me say that Dark Horse is probably the best like publisher of just nice books. I mean, overall there's obviously going to be a few exceptions to that rule, but it comes in a nice slipcase, it even smells nice, and it's just great to see the art of this game. But she famously always buys better gifts than me, so the first thing that she got me was the art of Crash Bandicoot 4. I love this game. I'm still working my way through because of the fact that I haven't played a game properly in ages, and it's really quite difficult for me. It's the first game that genuinely made me feel old, but this art book is astounding. It's by the same people who made the Art of Spyro the Dragon Reignited trilogy, and that is one of my favourite art books, and this is there alongside it. It's just got big beautiful pages. I love seeing all the concept designs and stuff that didn't make it into the the final game. You've got thoughts from the creators and the designers so that you can see exactly what it was that they were thinking at the time when they were making this game. And when I get art books like this, whether it be for a film, a TV show, or a game, it makes me appreciate the final product even more. The next book that she got me was Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And I was genuinely contemplating buying this, but then she got it for me anyway, so it saved me from my own budget. Anyway, I'm glad that my girlfriend picked this one up for me. I'm really looking forward to sitting down and reading this. I'm looking forward to reading Pulp as well, and I don't know which one I should read first. She also picked me up The Walking Dead: The Alien by Brian K. Vaughan. So this is the second Brian K. Vaughan book of this month, but she knew that I was picking up all the oversized hardcovers, and she noticed that I hadn't picked this one up. I didn't know that this had been printed in an oversized hardcover. I thought it'd only come out as a single issue. So I'm really glad that she picked this one up for me. I'm tempted to crack this one open. I'm not sure if this would ruin the full read through that I'm planning for The Walking Dead. I don't know whether to do this first and drum up some hype for the full read through. And the last book that she picked me up for Valentine's Day was one that I was very subtly hinting about for a couple of months, and it is the Dead Man Omnibus. I've wanted to read this for years because of the fact that there was that slipcased hardcover that they did that then went out of print. And obviously I've read books that have been done by Neil Adams and Jerry Conway in the past, so I've really been looking forward to this one because it is held to quite a high acclaim. And it seems like a DC book that is a little bit off the beaten track, and there has been times when Deadman's shown up in the actual DC universe, but I'm not sure if this is actually incorporated into the main DCU or if it's something that stands on its own. So yeah, that was quite a good Valentine's Day haul for my part, and it's nice that for once I don't have to buy myself a Valentine's Day gift. But as we moved into the second half of February, I realised that I'd already used over half of my budget, and then I bought The Scarlet Witch by James Robinson Complete Collection. I got this for 17 quid from Books Etc, which brings me up to £197 in my budget. But the Uncanny Omar's been raving about this book, and the last book that he raved about that I picked up was Loki Agent of Asgard. So of course I'm going to give this a chance, and I'm watching WandaVision at the minute. My feelings on it are mixed. I might do a review once the series is over. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I've never read anything of hers that's standalone, and I was also tempted to pick up Vision by Tom King. I'm interested in it because of the fact that it was a blind buy, and sometimes these are the books that really take you by the biggest surprise. The art also looks really interesting as well. I've already had a flick through of this. I'm not sure when I'll get around to reading this. If anybody wants to see a review of it, let me know. But it was at this point in the month that I finally realised that I did need to be smart about the books that I was buying if I was going to stay within my budget. So what I brought next was DMZ Volume 5. This is the trade paperback, and as you know, it was the last one that I needed. But honestly, DC, what the fuck happened with these spines? Why did you wait until the last volume to fuck up the logo? Like, that is the only thing I'm probably ever going to see when I look at this collection now, and it's a shame because I've already read DMZ. This is one of my favourite Vertigo titles, and I also feel like it's quite underrated and not a lot of people think about it anymore. But still, regardless of how much that spine pisses me off, at least I've finally completed this collection now, and it isn't something that I have to worry about it going out of print. After that is a book that I've literally been putting off buying for near enough a decade now because it's Superman vs Muhammad Ali, the Deluxe Edition. I remember when this first got solicited and they made such a big deal about it. There was two different editions. There was one that was the size that it would have been when it came out, and then there was this Deluxe Edition, and I remember having this pre-ordered, but then for whatever reason, I think it was the case that I lost my paper round at the time, and I kept telling myself that I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy this. I love Superman, I love boxing, and I love Muhammad Ali, so why in the fuck have I not brought this for 10 years? I was planning on reading this for Muhammad Ali's birthday, but again, I kept putting off buying this, but it's the same creative team as Green Lantern, Green Arrow, so it wasn't just two nobodies that were on this title. I am really looking forward to reading this and seeing exactly what happens in it. Because it's so thin, I might be able to do a quick review, because normally at the minute I'm doing 2 reviews a month, but if I do smaller titles like this, I might end up being able to push that to 3. But to be fair, nobody seems to care about my reviews anyway, so what the fuck's the point? Still, I'm not too sure if this is something that they're gonna keep in print forever. It was only £11, so if this is something that you've wanted for a while, make sure that you jump on this because it seems like a timeless classic. Like, I can't imagine them doing something like this nowadays. I can't see them using Anthony Joshua or Canelo Alvarez. Still, I think this is a piece of history that I needed in my collection, and I'm really glad that it's finally made its way into it. After that, I then spent £60 on 5 books. If any of you watch my How to Build Your Comic haul without spending too much money, you know that I preached about the use of looking for collections and also looking at Facebook groups. There was a dude that was selling a lot of oversized hardcovers. I didn't want the full collection, but I just asked him, if you're willing to split the set, I'll have 5 of them, and the first of those 5 was Dial H Deluxe Edition. I got this because I heard that it was part of the New 52, but it was one of the titles that I didn't pick up when I was reading it in single issues. I've said it before, but the New 52 was what properly got me into DC Comics, so I feel like I owe it to myself to buy as many titles as I can from that era. So even though there's not much that I know about this, I'm still glad that I picked it up, and hopefully it will catch me by surprise when I do eventually go to read it. The next one that I picked up as part of that collection was Batman Gothic. This seems to be a Grant Morrison title that nobody talks about. about. I don't know if this is good, it could be completely fucking awful, but either way, I thought that because of the price that I was getting this set for, it was worth picking it up in case it is a hidden gem. Also, I managed to get the Batman Year 100 Deluxe Edition. I've never read this title, but I love Batman Year 1, and at the moment I am reading TMNT The Last Ronin in single issues, and this seems to be pretty much the same setup but for Batman. Sign me up, I am ready for that, and I can't wait until I can crack this open and see exactly what this book is and if it's something that does actually hold up for me. Alongside that, I got Batman by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso. Again, the deluxe edition, but I've already read Joker that is by this duo. I've already done a review of it if you want to check it out. And I remember that a few months ago Zavvi was doing a sale where they sold off a load of deluxe edition hardcovers, and this was one that I passed up at the time. Since then I've heard that people were saying that this has some of the best Batman stories in it, so I regretted not picking it up. So when I saw it as part of that guy's sale, I knew that I just needed to buy it. Unfortunately, I didn't have the one Batman book that I did miss out on as part of that sale, which was Batman Ego by Darwin Cook. It seems like a compilation of short stories, and sometimes those are the best books that you can actually get. It also includes what they did for Wednesday Comics, which is one of the books that I really wish I could find. The last book that I picked up as part of that sale was Superman's Secret Identity. Yeah, I've been wanting this deluxe edition for ages, and it seems like in America everybody's able to get it from Ollie's, and they're also able to get it from Hamilton Books, but over here in the UK I just haven't really seen this about. And I have heard absolutely nothing but good things about this. It's Kurt Busiek, who's a great creator, it's Stuart Immonen, and I love what I saw from him in Ultimate Spider-Man, and it's a Superman story, and I feel like that character deserves a lot more love, and I feel like I should be doing my part in that. And I thought that that was going to be everything that I brought from this month, so I totaled it all up and I spent £276, which meant that I was under budget, and at first I was happy, I was content, I thought great, I can live with that. But then part of me also said that in a later month you might not have that extra money to spend. So I took the opportunity to finally pick up I Hate Fairyland Volume 1. I got this for £22 as well, so I'm still technically under budget, but this is one of those titles that I have wanted to pick up for a while, and Amazon's been a little bit weird that you can't actually buy this from them. It says that it's pre-order at the moment and coming out in July. Maybe Amazon's right and I've secretly time traveled into the future, but either way, I knew that I wanted to get this book. It's something that I've wanted for a while. I love Scotty Young's art, but I've never really read too much of his actual written work, but I loved what I saw from him during Oz, and I've also heard quite mixed things about this. People either really love it or they thought that it was just okay. I'm happy to see where exactly I fall on that spectrum, and this is a really nice edition. Again, Image is just like doing the work to make sure that the presentation value's there. I know the premise of this, that it's about somebody who's been stuck in fairyland for so long that they kind of resent it and they don't want to live there, and it's like overly violent. So it seems like a book that's got the same kind of sense of humour that I do, and I know what you're probably thinking, that I'm not funny at all, so why am I saying that I've got a sense of humour? But you know, can't please everyone, so I'm glad that I got this and that it ends my February haul. Hopefully I can pick up volume 2 as well, but I couldn't pick it up this month because that would have meant that I had gone over budget. But yes, even though I couldn't spend as much as I do other months, I still feel like I got a pretty decent haul. And again, I'm not trying to shame anybody. If you've only got 20 quid to spend a month on comics, make sure that you buy all the books that you want within that £20. There might even be months where I don't have anything that I can afford to spend. I'm trying to move house at the minute and try and buy a new camera. Hopefully you've noticed that I brought a new microphone. But at the end of the day, this is a hobby. It shouldn't be your life. It shouldn't dictate your finances. It shouldn't mean that you can't still put food on the table. It shouldn't mean that you can't go out and experience life. But just always make sure that you spend within your means, and don't make the same stupid mistake that I made last year where I was spending so much on hauls just to try and make a better YouTube video. And moving forward, I want to make it so that there are some kind of challenges within my hauls. Maybe it's the fact that I have to buy at least 5 books that are under £10. Maybe I have to finish at least 3 sets that I've already started within my collection. Or maybe it's that I have to buy a certain amount of books from a certain publisher. So if you've got any suggestions for any kind of challenges that I could maybe incorporate into future hauls, let me know in the comment section below. But at this point, you might be thinking that I've forgotten something, and no, not at all. It is still time for the Maddogg Comic Haul competition. The only competition that's unique because there's no winner and there is definitely not a prize. I thought I'd put this at the end because some people seemed a bit disappointed with the fact that I put 5 at the beginning and then the rest at the end. I wasn't trying to make anybody feel shit or anything like that. That's not the point of the Maddogg Comic Haul competition. It's so that you guys can showcase your hauls and be proud of all the books that you've got, whether it be 1 or 100. So I thought to save myself getting any more hate, I'd just put them all at the end of the video. And starting it off, they just missed out on being featured in last month's haul. It is Father and Son Comics. I always like when they submit pictures because you get 2 hauls for the price of 1, because obviously you got the father and you've got the son. So that's why you can see 2 editions of Batman the Rise and Fall of the Batman. But there's just some great books in here. They've got the 100 Bullets Omnibus, they've got Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 and X-Men by Jim Lee. They picked up Reckless, so we've got something in common there, and they've also got Batman and Robin by Peter J. Tomasi. That's a book that I'm reading at the minute, and there is going to be a review of that coming out this month, so make sure that you subscribe so that you can check that one out. Next up, we've got Allard Likes Comics, who's got a great variety of books here. So he's got the reprint of Captain America by Ed Brubaker, and he's also got the trial of Captain America, which is a smart move because I don't know if those later volumes, the volumes 4 and volumes 5, are going to get a reprint like the first two. He also got Velvet, which is a good score considering the fact that that seems to be disappearing everywhere. And he also got the 2 whammy volumes of 52, so I really hope that you enjoy them. Next up from Comic Book Library, he's got 2 beautiful Absolute editions there. So he's got the Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello, and he's also got the Green Arrow by Kevin Smith. A nice variety of books there as well. So he's got some Batman New 52, he's also got some Superman Earth 1, and he's also got Before Watchmen. I'm also loving that Nightwing figure there, so that's a great haul. Next up, it's my boy Comic Bound. You can check out his full haul on his channel, but he has got such a great variety of books here. He's got enough omnibuses here that I'm pretty certain in saying he could probably crush a human skull if you stack them on top. He's got some X-Men omnibuses, and again, he saved me in getting Uncanny X-Men Volume 3. He got the Moon Knight omnibus. I know he also got the DM variant of the Captain America omnibus as well. He got the Scurry Kickstarter edition. I didn't know whether to pick this up just because of how beautiful this book is, and he also got Absolute Scarlet. Again, I don't know if that's a book that I need to buy because of the fact that I do like Brian Michael Bendis. If you've read Scarlet, let me know in the comments below if that's something that I need to pick up. Then we've got Hellspawn 81, who's kicking this off with the Akira box set. That is just such a beautiful collection. I really hope that you enjoy that. And also, you've stacked it on the side like the Shadow Cat has, and you've got both volumes of Injustice, and you're just showcasing how beautiful those spines are together. You've got some great reading ahead of you there, and I really hope that you enjoy it. Then Physical Media Love's coming in with a beautiful haul once again. So he's got Wonder Woman Dead Earth, which is a book that I still need to pick up. As well, he's got Scarlet. Maybe this is some kind of movement that I'm not aware of. He's got the Flex Mentallo Deluxe Edition, which is something I still need to pick up, but it's gone out of print, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And he's got some beautiful Absolute editions, some that are quite rare as well. Absolute Identity Crisis and a few others, so thank you for sending that in. Then we've got a haul from Cade YouTube, and in case you can't tell from his Instagram name, he has also got his own YouTube channel that he's just started out, so I'd recommend checking that out. But he's got a stack of these DC Comics graphic novel collections, which is something that I think was published by Eagle Moss, and there's some great titles within here. So you've got Our Worlds at War with Superman, you've got Gates of Gotham, you've got a Nightwing book, The Great Leap, and you've also got House of Hush. He's also got a second haul, and I have to give this another shout out because of the fact that he's got all 6 volumes of Preacher. As well, he's got Batman Dark Victory. I loved that book when I read it, and I did a review of it pretty much at the beginning of this channel, so I hope that you enjoy that as well. Then Akuji the Collector, who supported this hashtag from the beginning, has got a really great haul here. So he's got all 3 volumes of Batman Nightfall. No idea how you got that 3rd volume. I know that that is very difficult to get at the moment. He's got Batman by James Tynion, Star Wars by Jason Aaron, both volumes of Daredevil by Frank Miller, and hopefully in preparation for my review, he's got Batman and Robin by Peter J. Tomasi. So that is a great haul. Thank you for sending it in. Wish that the Sloth was there though. Where's the Sloth gone? SH Comics UK has also got a great haul. They've got 3 Daredevil omnibuses. I don't care if it says Marvel Knights, it's a Daredevil book at the end of the day. He's also got the 2 Mark Waid volumes along with Green Arrow by Mike Grell. There's some beautiful Hellboy library editions in here, and as well, I know that it's not part of your haul, but I can see it in the background. I am jealous because of the fact that you've got the Gotham Central omnibus. Then we've got a haul from Comics vs. the World, and there's also just a great variety of stories here. Can't help but say that I noticed the first thing is a book called I Killed Adolf Hitler, which is something that I'm probably going to have to pick up. We've just got a great variety of books here. So he's got some Gideon Falls, he's got some Black Hammer. Seems like you're a massive Jeff Lemire fan. We've then got our boy Ilias sending in his haul. He's over in Italy, so he's managed to get some of these omnibuses that are difficult to find in English, but he managed to get them for a really great price. The one that I'm looking at here is the Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman Volume 2. He's also got a volume of Batman Road to No Man's Land, and he's got the Parker Martini edition, which is one of the nicest looking books that I've ever seen. He's also got some single issues here. He's got some Department of Truth, The Web of Spider-Man, and as well you've got the Iron Man toy that I wish I would have picked up. I wanted all 3 of these. I got the Thor, but it was a bit damaged, so I sent it across to someone to get fixed, and I just never got it back. We're now going to jump across and look at the hauls in our Reddit page, which is r/Maddogg Comic Community. The first one, which literally came in 2 minutes ago, comes from user Saito09, and this is the new job haul. So firstly, congratulations on getting a new job, and it seems like it's paying you well because you have got some massive books here. He's got all 4 volumes of the Uncanny X-Men omnibuses. He's got all 3 of the JSA by Jeff Johns. Don't worry, I drank enough before filming this that I probably don't need to drink at this point. He's also got the Superman by Grant Morrison, which is something that we haven't got over here yet, and there's just a great variety of books here. Jason T0607's got a great range of omnibuses here. So he's got the Daredevil by Frank Miller Companion, the Fantastic Four Volume 1, which he did a good job on getting that because of the fact that it seems to have just disappeared out of print, and also the Flash by Jeff Johns Volume 1, so there's some great reading there for you, and I hope that you enjoy it. Gift to Dario also came in with a great haul. He's got 3 Batman omnibuses, one of which being the Scott Snyder, which I'm not gonna lie, if that comes in stock again, I might just pick it up because I feel like it's building momentum for that second volume that should get announced at some point. And he's also got some volumes of American Vampire, which is a great title. I loved when I read that in single issues, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. But those are all the hauls, and if you're wondering how you can get featured next month, all you need to do is make sure that you upload it to Instagram, just put a nice picture. If you have a cute pet and they're involved in the picture somehow, then that really works its way to my heart. But all you need to do is make sure that you tag me in it at Maddogg Comics, and also use the hashtag MaddogHaul. That's with 2 D's and 2 G's, so just make sure that the spelling's correct on it. Or also you can just send it into our Reddit page. Again, that's just r/Maddogg Comic Community. That's my haul, and that's all the hauls that you guys submitted, and I'm hoping that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, and if you didn't, why did you get this far? Subscribe down below and make sure you click the bell notification so that you don't miss out on Whale Watch, which is coming next. Check out my links in the description along with my Amazon affiliate links, which does greatly help the channel. Here are some of my other videos, but until next time, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad all you dogs. Woof woof! See you at the next video.